Hello guys, welcome to the channel of TCP/IP. Today we are going to discuss about the routing protocols or the routing algorithms. In that we are going to discuss about the routing protocol background, what is routing protocols, then the different characteristics available, and then the types and some differences are available. So let's start with the background. So as you know what there is a device called as a router, and router works on the network 3 or let's say layer 3 of the OSI model or let's say TCP model. Here, routing is the process in which the layer 3 devices like a router or layer 3 switches find the optimal path to deliver the packet from one network to another network. So here there is a routing and there is a router or let's say switch as a devices which works on the this switch is specifically manageable switch, not a simple switch, which used to select or which used to discover the shortest path to transfer the datagrams from one source to the another destination. And we also know that there are the two types of the routing. Very first is the static routing, that is also called as a non-adaptive, and second is what the dynamic, that is what adaptive. So here in static routing, it is done by the system administrator. That is what we can say. This is one time, but decision is going to be not correctly because many of time the network scenarios are going to be changed. So static routing is not affordable that much for the latest information. But if you go with the dynamic routing, it is done by the different protocols. Once the system administrator configures the dynamic protocol like RIP protocol, OSP protocol, BGP protocol, after that system administrator has configure types of the protocols. So only one time that system administrator needs to be configured the protocols. And after that, the protocol is going to be worked in there accordingly. So these are the backgrounds available with the routing protocol. Then if you go with the routing protocol definitions, guys, so here routing protocol is a combination of rules and procedure. As we know that the protocol is what the set of rules or let's say constant where we have syntax is available, semantic is available, and time is available. So here in this protocol, for everything needs to be followed properly, there's supposed to be have rules and procedures or procedures and rules. On the basis of these procedures and rules, everything is going to be work. Then it has been created for dynamic routing. So if you have a static routing, that system administrator can manually work on that particular routing. But if you configure any static dynamic routing protocol, that automatically that protocol is going to be work to creation of dynamic routing tables, because on the basis of these routing tables, that protocols or that the router is going to be take a decision. In it inform each others about the changes in network. Whatever the changes are available or made in the particular network, that changes are going to be disseminated from the neighbors to neighbor. This is also a function of routing protocol. It also allows to share whatever they know, whatever the information with they have their self about the internet and their neighborhood. So it is again going to be likely whatever the new updates are available that is going to be shared among the neighbors. Each router has the prior knowledge only of the network attached to it. So this is what the concept. Every router, let's say if we have a router and router have a two connected network. So router generally have their own directly connected network entries into the routing tables. So here every routers have their prior knowledge about the network attached to them. And after that, it is going to be worked out by the routing tape or routing protocols. And it also routing protocols have a decision capacity on the basis of the statistics available in a routing table. It can take a decision like which one is the best path, which one is alternative path, whatever, or maybe other decisions can be taken. Then routing algorithm determines the specific choice of route. Here also we can say the choice of route can be decided on the basis of some cost metrics like a number of hops, what is the bandwidth, what is the congestion, etc. Then a special definition, guys. The routing protocol specifies how a router communicate with each other to distribute information that enables them to select the route between any two node on the computer. This is what the standard definition, guys. So here we can say an ultimate definition is what it is the specifies how router communicates to each others to distribute the information, to distribute the knowledge they have among their what we can say the neighbors, okay, on the same network or maybe a different network. Generally, it is on the same network. So these are the few definitions of the routing protocol, guys. After discussing the routing protocol definition, there are some characteristics how that routing algorithm supposed to be or how that routing protocol is supposed to be. The very first characteristics what the simple. So the routing protocol is supposed to be very simple for implementation and configuration. It's supposed to be supposed to be less bugs, easy to understand, etc. Then second will be lightweighted to execution or maybe the resource usage. As we know, guys, that there is a routing table is available. In order to process that routing table, we have to understand that routing table. We require the capacity or resources like a CPU and memory. That's supposed to be very less. So router should spend as less resource as possible in running on the algorithm because they have limited CPU and memory. Generally, router have iOS, that is Internet Network Operating System, but it is not that much powerful. Only a few parameters are going to be understood, like routing tables. Then next will be accuracy. Algorithm should give the accurate results each time. Then next will be optimal. The computed path should be optimal according to the selected metric, whatever the metrics they have selected, but that part is supposed to be optimal so that everyone can follow and the datagram can transfer from one place to another place in a very less time. Speed of convergence, guys. The speed of convergence define how quickly the router in the network topology share information and reach a state of consistent knowledge. The faster in convergence, the preferable the protocol. And whatever the protocol, they have very fast convergence, which will be preferred on the network because how far they can share quickly the information to the neighbors. That is required because they have to take a decision. So for decision purpose, they require a knowledge. They require a knowledge, and that required knowledge in within a particular time. So it is going to be very fast one. So fast convergence, root convergence will be preferable among all the devices. Scalability. As we know, guys, there are network size is going to be large, increasing day by day. So it's supposed to be there if any router has configured on any system and if that network has increased drastically, that capacity is supposed to be there. So scalable routing protocols are also preferred. Then support is a characteristics. We have the classless and classful addressing and routing mechanism. So support for classless, if any routing protocol support for the classful, but it is going to be not support for the subnet masking and the VLSM. But in terms of if you go with the classless routing, it supports for the subnet mask, VLSM, and better route summarization. So everybody can follow, everybody can select this is what the support where is the classless available. If the router protocol is supposed to the classless, they can support, they can prefer to that particular protocol. Then stable, it should switch to another path just when there is a topology or cost changes to avoid route flapping. That is the frequent changes of preferred route, which consequent excess of transient period. If what happen if there are so many changes occurred in network, any link is going to be up, any route has crashed, any link has crashed, any router has crashed. So in that time also it is going to be a stable only, okay, because that topology information need to be spread over ultimate network, and that on the basis of that the decision can be taken. So it is supposed to be a stable one, guys. Then fair, the routing protocol is supposed to be fair, so it cannot it's supposed to be biased. It's not unbiased. It's not supposed to not be having unbiased because okay, any particular node or path, because specifically it's supposed to not in favor of any particular node or path. It's supposed to be biased, and justice should be very clear, guys. The next will be robustness. It should be able to automatically adopt the network topology or cost changes so that everyone can prefer that. So in the robustness, we can say the fault detection. It should not rely on the external components to detect the fault. If we have a network and if we have a router, so and let's say another network is there, so this router decision capacity by its own. It's not supposed to be rely on the other network components, guys. Auto stabilization. In case of variations in network, it should be converged to the solution without any external intervention. So whatever the what we can say the network calamities that happened, so that calamities can going to be solved within a particular networks only. Not it's supposed to not rely on the other networks components also. So it is going to be auto stabilization. And Banetazine or complex robustness is available. It should recognize and isolate the neighbor's node which is sending fake information due to fault or malicious attack. So it is going to be very important, guys, in terms of the security's purpose. So most of the people, most of the routers, most of the networks are sending the malicious informations, or maybe that they generally do the attacks on the other networks. So that time also it's supposed to be very robust. Note here there is a note that internet does not implement this complex robustness, but it is based on the confidence and fault and the malicious behavior required human intervention. So it is required for the better work of that particular. So these are the characteristics available, guys. Now let's take about the autonomous system. As we know, guys, there is a autonomous system is a term. Autonomous system is a collection of routers under the common administrative, such as company or an organization. An autonomous system is also known as a routing domain. So, okay, if we can say any particular system, any particular organization, which is the autonomous system, it means what? They have their own decision policies, they have own protocols, they have own their working mechanisms, and that is what the autonomous system. If we go with this diagram, guys, so here there is a one autonomous system where every component there is Ethernet, the networks, okay, cables are available. So this autonomous system is what governed by single one administrator under the it comes under the single administrative policy where every protocols, every rules are going to be imposed by their management working system. Here there is a second autonomous system, guys. This is also same. Now, if this is the definition of the autonomous system, and autonomous system is generally divided into some kind of structure, etc., etc. So we have that separate focused in the next lecture. So we can focus on this also autonomous system in the OSP protocol, like because OSP protocol is what the basic of these autonomous systems. Now here on the basis of this autonomous system, guys, also routing inside the autonomous system preferred as intra-domain routing, and second the routing uh, it is routing between the autonomous system is referred to the inter-domain. So if you go, let's say if you go with the one single autonomous system, so here will be intra-domain. We generally know that the uh, uh, college competition is there. Competition of the same college is what the intra. If we go with the college between the colleges, or let's say among the colleges, that is what the inter-domain. Okay. So here, second category, if the autonomous system 1 and autonomous system 2 is wanted to communicate with each other, that time the second category will be intra-domain. Intra-domain. Sorry, here there is a spelling mistake. There is inter-domain. Okay, inter-domain. Now there are the difference between this inter-domain and intra-domain. So first is category intra-domain. The routing within the autonomous system is what intra-domain, and routing between the autonomous system, that is what the two autonomous system, is what the inter-domain. There is a slight mistake. Sorry for that. Now second difference is what it ignores the internet outside the autonomous system, and whereas the inter-domain assume that the internet consists of the collection of interconnected autonomous system. Okay. The second will the policy is very simple in terms of the inter-domain due to the same autonomous system, because if there is only one single autonomous system, so policy will be same, policy will be easy. But in terms of the inter-domain, there will be different involvement of different autonomous system in different involvement of different autonomous system. So it is going to be restricted policy, or maybe the some strict policies are there. Some of the examples of the intra-domain are IP protocol, OSP protocol, IS protocol. Then inter-domain protocol, there is a EGP and the BGP protocols are available. And generally, the protocols of the inter-domain routing is also called as interior gateway protocol, that is IGP. And this is the basic, what we can say the main category of this algorithm. Then inter-domain routing protocol, the protocols of inter-domain routing are also called as exterior gateway protocol, that is what the EGP protocol. So these are the few differences, guys. So here in an autonomous system, what we can say, autonomous system is what the collection of one components together of the single region, single areas where everything is going to be managed by their own management and under the control of that particular, what we can say, the controlling board. So then there are some classification of the routing algorithm, guys. So here routing protocols can be classified into different groups according to their characteristics. So what we have collected over here, the specifically routing protocols can be classified by their very first is a purpose, second will be operation, and third will be behavior. If you go with the purpose, so purpose will be interior gateway protocol and exterior gateway protocol. Second, operation can be there are three main categories: distance vector routing protocol, link state routing protocol, and path vector routing protocol. Okay, and the behavior can be classful and the classless protocols. But the main category is based on what the purpose. Purpose is what, because what kind of things need to be managed and how it is going to be managed. So it is going to be interior and the exterior, guys. Okay, these are the basic fundamentals. Now in our syllabus, what we have, we have these three categories available with us, and three categories, two categories available with us, and two categories of what? This category. Very first, intra-domain routing protocol. Intra-domain. So here is also intra-domain protocol. In intra-domain protocol, there are two categories: distance vector routing protocol, which have a separate video of the distance vector routing. Please do watch that video. For examples, RIP version 1, version 2, EIGRP, then version 1, version 2. Then second category is what? This is what the first category. Second category is what? The link state routing protocol. Link state routing protocol. Here the examples of what? OSPF version 1, 2, the ISIS. These are the protocols. Then second category, this is what the first category, and second category is also there. And the second category is what? Inter-domain. There is a spelling mistake, guys. Inter-domain routing protocol. In this inter-domain routing protocol, this is what? Between two AS. So here only single autonomous system will be there. So let's say this is what the single autonomous system. And if you go with this autonomous system, then inter-domain can be used. So there is a category is what the path vector routing protocol. Everything path information going to be taken care of on the basis of that, guys. And best example is what the BGP protocol, border gateway protocol. Here somewhere there is a protocol who knows this network, who knows this network also. This lies in between this inter-domain. If you go with this, RIP and the OSPFs are available. Where OSPF we have autonomous system thoroughly, and RIP is what the simple protocol is only having the 15 hops of the what we can say the extending capacity, not that much scalable. So these are the main categories of the main categories of the routing algorithm, guys. I hope you got the idea about the uh, routing algorithms and routing policies and what routing protocols are there. Uh, before this, we have discussed about the what we can say the protocols and routing types, and the static routing, dynamic routing, and after that we are going to next video we are going to discuss probably the RIP protocol. Thank you so much.